Hey everybody, welcome back to another day of market excitement. Man, it's been a lot of fun, isn't it? PulseX incentive inflation cut 2x again. So with the first 10x cut, and now we got a 2x, it's a 20x cut in inflation on incentive token. Wow, wow, wow. That's going to have an impact on the farms, of course, on PulseX with the amount of capital in there. But where does that capital go, right? Where does that capital go? Does it go pump up the rest of the tokens, incentive token? Man, it's an exciting place, and we see some big changes happening by Richard and his team. So pretty exciting to see where all that heads. And we had a big pump the last couple of days. I think it's cooled off today. We're going to have a check out of the markets a bit later. So that should be pretty cool. Yeah, very exciting indeed what's happening there. Don't forget to get into the chat there. We got Joe Torres. Hey, Joey. Good, always good to see you in the house. It's a big shout out to you. And Craig Pitt as well. Morning all. Good to see you, Craig. We've got some good old favorites in the chat there today. And, of course, big shout out to our community leader, Brian, representing. And, of course, Hex Token channel member as well. Crushing it. And we've got Hedgehog as well. Woohoo. Get excited. Hey, Hedgehog, good to see you. Aussie Stone jumps in here as well. Yay, caught you live, super. Woohoo. Yeah, get excited. And we've got Crypto Jacks as well. Great to see so many in the chat there. And of course, all names I know very well. So big shout out as long-term supporters. All right. So we're going to check out all the stuff because, man, it's getting exciting, right? We're seeing value added by Richard Hart. So that's really, really exciting to see. So let's jump over to some of these charts. We're going to get into all that. Let me just bring up website here that I didn't have up, so we're going to bring that up and check that out. All right, so let's, without further ado, we're going to cover the markets and quickly see how they're going. So let's bring that in, bam. And we can see that stock market did well yesterday on Monday. So this is Tuesday's results. We got the S&P 500 ekes out a win despite Powell, that's the chairman of the U.S. Federal Reserve, cooling rate cut hopes, which we weren't, too hopeful. Yeah, a little bit hopeful, but not too hopeful. And thought I was going to sneeze there for a second. We got the Dow Jones is up, over 0.25%, 123 points to 44,593. Remember, the Dow Jones is all the industrials, 30 and top industrials. They should be getting a real boost under the Trump administration. That moving into the golden era. I think people have no idea how big the stuff that Trump is going to be doing. It's big. He's going big. Which means the US is going to go big. I think we're going to see massive infrastructure builds. I think we're going to see massive high-tech builds. I think we're going to see some incredible buildings built as well in the United States. I think it's really going to be the golden age, and that's going to spur on the economy. We already see with the Dodge that he's cutting a balance sheet. So if they cut their deficit by $1 trillion and they grow the economy by $1 trillion, then you've got a no inflation environment, and that could be massive, right? So look out for this. Stuff is all coming together, and they're going 100 miles an hour with only 3-4 weeks in, and they're already making massive strides. So keep a lookout for that. It's going to be very, very exciting to see that. Now we got the S&P 500 is pretty flat today. That's but up slightly at 2 points at 6,068. The Nasdaq is down 1/3%. It's got all the tech companies in it, down 70 points to 19,643. Now we know that the vice president at the moment is over in Germany, place like that, at the AI conference, or France actually maybe, with the AI conference there, and is going pretty well. So he's talking about the opportunity of AI over there, and also wanting people to use it for good rather than bad, obviously. So he's put that notice out there. Now, the other thing is around interest rates. Like I say, we're not expecting big cuts at the moment. We're obviously dependent. It will be data dependent. But Powell told the Senate Banking Committee on Tuesday that there wasn't a need for the Fed to be in a hurry to lower interest rates as monetary policy is already less restrictive and the economy remains strong. So that's where that's at the moment. So if Trump can grow the economy and pull down inflation at the same time, then we could see interest rate cuts. And that is, interest rates, of course, are a key input into making the economy even more bullish, right? So getting this balance is really amazing. This is what happens when you have the right people in power. And we just got rid of the probably the worst president in US history, and now we're probably going to get the best president since Abraham Lincoln. So it's going to be pretty transformative, I think. So it's going to be pretty exciting. Let's see how it goes. All right, so let's jump away into the crypto. We've got $96,000 on Bitcoin at the moment. So it's down 1.33% there. Still at 59% dominant, so we're not in altcoin season quite yet. Like I said, I didn't expect it to get up to close to 70% like in 2021 because the structure of crypto has changed quite a lot, if you remember. So yeah, it's time. Let's bring it on. So Ethereum there at $2,600, down 1.6%. Solana down 0.6% there at $198. So it's gone below $200 there. So BNB is up 5% at $646. Nice move there. ADA is up 11% at 78.5%. So Hodgkinson will be pretty happy about that. Not sure what's quite driving that today. Maybe Hodgkinson said something, or there's some feature. We know that I think they got their DAO up and running on the chain, didn't they? Some months back. That didn't really move the market. Tron down 2%, 24 cents. We've got Litecoin is down just a little bit, or actually up a bit, 0.8% at just under $120. That's kind of where our leaders are. XRP is at $2.42, and that's up 0.2%. Now, the thing about XRP, obviously, a lot of people backing that on the banking aspect to the XRP. Obviously, that Ripple does, right? But the problem I have with it, Ripple can just almost infinitely dump from memory. So it's kind of the reason why I'm not a big fan of XRP. But that's where we are with the majors. All right, so let's bring us into where's Bitcoin at the moment. So it's at 96K. So it's still looking really good with Bitcoin. It's not over 100K, but it's not below 92K. And 92 has been a very big support line for Bitcoin. So we're just sort of milling around there. February, which is typically our best return month, as you can see in the chart here, we've only had 2 red months in the past, is still red at the moment, negative 6.1%. And we're just over a third of the way through the month, right? So maybe 40% of the way through the month. Negative 6%. Let's see if we can etch out in the second half, or second 2/3 of February, a green opportunity. Now, Trump did talk about yesterday the fact that the next couple of weeks they have huge news for the U.S. economy and developments that they're doing for the US. So like I said, I think people, if you jump a couple of years ahead from where we are now, I think people are absolutely going to be absolutely aghast at how amazing Trump has renewed and invigorated the US economy, both in financial terms, but really in visual terms. People will be able to look around and visually see a change in infrastructure, high-tech buildings, high-tech developments in their homes and their businesses. I really think there's going to be some dramatic changes there within that 4-year period. So it's going to be pretty crazy to see that. Yeah, down 6% at the moment. So let's see whether we can etch out a green month for February. I'm pretty optimistic about February still. And then, of course, particularly into March, April, May, there are rumors on the street that institutional money is coming in Q2. So it'll be April to June. So we'll see how that goes. And also money coming in possibly in the next week. So we'll see how that goes. So far, the ETFs are doing pretty well. Morgan Stanley has picked up a couple $1 billion worth of Bitcoin as well. We saw that MicroStrategy picked up more Bitcoin. I think it was yesterday. So yeah, huge money still coming in. And we haven't seen nothing yet. I think there's so much money coming in. We even got Ukraine talking about making Bitcoin legal in 2025. So that's coming up. If you've got places like that, it's pretty crazy. So yeah, pretty exciting. Now we also saw some interesting stuff with Trump and President Putin about ending the war in Ukraine, Russia. There's possibly something like 1.5 million men that have been killed or wounded, and women, of course, included in that, and children. But it's a travesty. It's just ridiculous war. It's a very stupid war, and he's looking to close that. That would be very good for markets, right? Ending a war. Be very bullish for markets, and obviously dealing with Gaza at the moment as well, using a very clever strategy there. Now, the one thing I was going to say about that is that could really spur on economic growth. Ukraine with the rare earths deal done there. Peace obviously, and they'll have obviously land will have to be given up there. But yeah, I think that's going to head in the right direction. So very cool. Now they let a civilian, I think it was just trying to remember what his occupation was. They let a civilian American captive. Russia's let them go as a show of goodwill. and that's a positive relationship sign for coming up. So I think we're going to get some really cool things here. I think we're truly going to enter the golden age. It's going to be amazing. So that is very exciting. Now, what is the negatives? The negatives is that the globalists are turning on the small countries that they still control. Unfortunately, that is New Zealand and Australia, unfortunately for us. But hopefully the Trump effect will take some impact within 6 to 12 months. But we got so many bad leaders. It makes you want to cry, doesn't it? Once it's just common sense to run a country. You can run a country very well just with common sense, but no, apparently they don't have it. They don't have it. They're all ideological and radicals, and we're pretty much screwed, I think. I'm a little hopeful. Let me get 10% hope. 9% we're in trouble. And so, yeah, hopefully the Trump effect will make that maybe 80-20, maybe 80-20. I don't know. By the time it's all said and done, we shall see. In any case, we have seen some pretty good moves in Europe with the Conservative Alliance of leaders. That's going very well. Poland and Italy and places like that, France. So let's see how that all ends up. We've got to win a few more of those big countries. Got to win, France, Germany. That would really turn things on its head if we can do that. So fingers crossed. That is where we are at the moment. Still got to deal with the EU unelected bureaucrats because they are working as the servants of the globalists. So we've still got work to be done there. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but things are definitely turned for the better. So that's where we are with crypto. All that stuff is going to make for a better world and therefore better returns in crypto. So fingers crossed. Now that leads us into Pulsechain, which we're going to talk about the title of the video, which is PulseX incentive inflation. So the incentive token inflation has cut 2x. So it was already cut 10x a couple of days ago. So that's a 20x cut in inflation, which is crazily good. We've got Brian says Joe was absolutely the worst in history. He was pretty bad. Obviously, he wasn't really running the country. It was probably Obama or somebody like that with their elites running it and behind. But yeah, pretty crazy. Blair in the house there. Hi all, good to see you, Blair. Cheer. And Crypto Fury as well. Hello. Hey, good to see so many regular supporters in the chat there. Big shout out to all you supporters there. Now we've got Richard Hart here coming out, literally hidden gems, he says. So this came out like earlier today, way earlier actually. We got incentive inflation just got cut 20x. Hex daily APY just cut 7x. Can you believe it? Crazy, especially on Ethereum. It's gone dramatically. The cuts on Ethereum are dramatic. So yeah, we were having like a 7.5 hex per T-share. I saw that down at 1 hex per T-share on the old Ethereum chain. I think it's like maybe 3.5 hex per T-share on Pulsechain, if I remember rightly. So yeah, a massive cut in inflation. PulseX and Pulsechain have been burning coins every day. Obviously, the increased supply burn, increased buy and burn on PulseX, very bullish there, and the market loved it. Right, the market loved it. Pulse went up 8% based on this snapshot that he had at the time. 17% on PulseX, 34% on incentive, and 20% on Hex. Hex went over 2.12 cents. Actually got up to over 2.2 when I remember looking at it. And incentive token got over $4. Now, for incentive token does have some natural resistant line at $4.20, and that seemed to hold up. So big shout out to Brendan for that TA. He's crushing it in Discord there. Anyway, that what's got here? The old T-share payout showing the decrease there. Look at it, 7.8 hex per T-share, and then fall down to 3.7 on day 1897. So showing a bit of the hex returns there. Now that was that from Richard, and he got 81,000 views on that, so not bad there from him. And that's really his key post that he's updated. That was 17 hours ago, that one. So let's have a look at the latest results. That was 17 hours old. But day 641, which is the end of day results. I think we're ending in 15 minutes, to be honest. We've got Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0556, down 2.6%. That's sitting at 56% of the mean sacrifice price. So still lots of upside, folks. Lots of upside. You are very early on Pulsechain. PulseX at the moment, quadruple 0458, up 4.5% almost. And that is sitting at 46% of the mean sacrifice price. So that's a nice re-rate. That re-rate, of course, the ratio to Pulse has changed a lot. So if you haven't checked it out, check out the ratio to PulseX to Pulse, and it is at 0.82. So that's crazy. PulseX there, pretty amazing. We might actually look at that in the charts when we get to it. The buy and burn at the moment is 1,262 billion, and at 6.34% of PulseX has been bought up and burned. That definitely looks like it's been accelerating with the increased volume, so very exciting there. Incentive token, $3.56, and it's come down from its high that had intraday high, but it's still up 18.7%. The ratio, man, it's almost basically doubled, isn't it? 64,000 Pulse now to one incentive token. There's about 55 million incentive token in supply based on these numbers, although I'm not so sure that these are being updated properly. You might want to have to look at the actual on-chain stuff there just to double check that number. Hex at the moment is gone below that 2 cent mark we saw, 1.9 cents, down 4.8% after its rally, today and yesterday. EHEX is at 3900th of a penny, and the combined price EX and PX at 2.3 cents. So real strong rebound. That's about a cent in a week, isn't it? About a cent rebound there combined. So really, really cool stuff there happening. Let's have a look at the gas prices. Gas prices have been elevated. They've come down a little bit there, 840,000 beats. So that's nice to see. But you can see in the chart there how elevated they've been, how spiky, up into tens of millions of beats there. And of course, we were at parity with Ethereum the other day with the fees. But today, Ethereum's on one Gwei, and we're 56 times cheaper than Ethereum. Now, that's pretty interesting, Ethereum being, one Gwei or lower. Obviously, not a lot happening there at the moment. And a lot of the second layers eating their lunch, right? They batch up the transactions, and they still route it through Ethereum. So ultimately, but definitely eating a lot of their volume, right? But institutional money is going to come into Ethereum. We see that with the Trump Foundation money. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. Ethereum will have to stay, I'm sure. Meanwhile, the validators, with that increased value on Pulsechain, the validators have increased and gone back over 46,000. So we're at 46,053 now. So there's validators loving that Pulse coming more valuable, validators flocking into the market. So the market's working as designed, right? We got 127,279,000 dollars over on Pulsechain Bridge. So that's looking pretty strong as well. I think that's down slightly from yesterday. I think down about $1.5 million. That'll just be reflecting EHEX down a bit maybe, but possibly ETH and Wrap Bitcoin there, which are down today. The DAI looks pretty similar to yesterday. That's where we are at the moment. Let's quickly look at the stable coins that are native to Pulsechain. We don't talk about them enough, but USDL sitting at $7.6 million of native stablecoin backed by Pulse. That's a liquidity fork. We got PXDC that is at $1.4 million. That's backed by PulseX. And then we got HEXDC that is at 721,000. That is backed by Hex. Those three are liquidity forks. And of course, we do see them separate from a peg quite often. So that's where we are at the moment. And of course, we do see a lot of it gets stuck on the platform, all earning yield, like 96, 98% earning yield. So they're not really leveraging the platform. So we need protocols that do that. And I'm going to talk about that later with our PUSD ALGO. So hold your hats for that. We also got Coast, which is a fiat-backed system, and that has got $8.1 million. And that does offer a lot more leverage in there. But what that magnitude is, I don't know. So if anyone knows what that is, let us know. But that is backed by fiat, 8.1 million. But that also depegs quite often. You can see the pegging at the moment. So USDL is at $1, so that's pretty good. PXDC is at 98.5 cents. It's 1.5 cent, from depegged. But DXDC is in premium, is $1.01. So it's a bit stronger than the dollar. And Coast there at 99.3. Now, probably with the increased volumes activities, these stable coins are behaving better, but they still see, depegging happening. If we get a lot of volatility, that's when it really starts to swing on those peaks. But pretty interesting looking at those stable coins. So we're going to talk about PUSD ALGO, though. It is very much going to be backed on USDL as well and pegged at $1. So we'll have a look at that a bit later. So that is Pulsechain. Let's have a look at the volumes. $127 million of volume. Man, we're heading in the right direction, aren't we? And of course, that is over the last 24 hours, obviously with a little bit of pullback that we've had in the last hour or so. But man, that has been doing amazing. Looking at the top performers, let's have a look at those. We got Pico up there. Pico's been around for 8 months. That's up 31%. Die Hard, which benefits from PDI, right? Gets PDI dividends. That is up by 29%. Incentive token is number 3. And of course, it's all its peers go all the way down to number 9 here. And that has been up about 20%, but has done absolutely fantastic, right? That performance on incentive over the last couple of days has been absolutely incredible. I had over 100% day. It was really crazy stuff there. We got Doubt tokens been around for 9 days. This will be one of the pump tire sites. So Pump Tires has been launched by Richard Hart, and it has had a major volume addition to the chain. They have put in some terms and conditions, I've noticed recently, probably from people trying to play the system too much or something. So we do have the King of the Hill. So the King of the Hill is the one that's closest to getting put onto PulseX, right? Transferring to PulseX. And currently this one here at the moment is H Hex. I don't even know why they did so well, but it's got Homer there with the little hex on it. So there we go. But this is the kind of play. A lot of people have been playing that and making mad gains in there. Some people maybe not so much, but that's kind of where we are on that one. And of course, typically when they get on to PulseX, probably most of them get dumped, is my guess, with a few of them holding up okay. So we got Doubt token there up 15%. X been around for 6 months. That's up 12%. Incognito had a bit of a down day, didn't it? But it's up 9.4%. People have been earning, I think, INC with this, right? So, INC with this one, if I remember rightly. That is the weekly candles. So we had a big pull off last week down to 00065. We're now at 0018. So a really nice rebound there on the old Incognito. And that is up 177% in the week. So pretty amazing there. Let's look at the daily on Incognito. Yeah, we had a couple of good day rebounds and mad gains for that. Let's look at the website and on Cognito, and let's see where that is there. So yeah, you can check your awards there. Check awards, earn INC. So that's kind of cool. You can check that out if you want to have a bit more look at that. So that's INC there. What else? So INC doing Incognito probably going to do better with INC going up, right? Especially now we've got this 20x cut in inflation. So that's kind of where we're seeing there. Now SolidX. This is from was it Firewhale, Randy Alaski's millionaire friend here on Pulsechain. That's sitting at $19.50, up 9%, doing pretty well. Obviously, you got to look at the ratio to Pulse. So let's have a look at that and see how that's going, because the US dollar obviously going up with Pulsechain. But you can see the ratio actually going up pretty nicely. Got down to 210. This was only like a week ago, and is now up at 350. So really nice move there. Now we're apparently waiting for this crash game, right? From Eric from Dragon X. So we haven't seen that. It's supposed to launch probably before the end of the year, last in 24. Have not seen that. So where is that? Haven't seen an update. Presumably that's coming down the line. And wonder how big that game will be. Certainly got good reach, social media reach. We'll see. So that's $19.50 at the moment. We got Atropa is at the moment up 7%. So we're talking about James Maria, right? James Maria bringing on this clever little webbing project. And of course, that's been very successful. That's currently at 7 cents. So let's have a quick look at this one, and let's see where we're going there. So that is look at that chart, really nice actually. Obviously, it's had quite a volatility, but hey, we're in crypto, got to get used to the volatility, right? But it's up to 22 cents being the top of that move. That's looking pretty good. Also, UFO related to I think this is a new UFO on the 9 months. UFO, they're doing pretty well, up 7%. I think that's the symbol for the one related to PDC. But anyway, Teddy Bear up 6%. This is a Teddy Bear is another James Maria project, if I remember rightly. And of course, Moon King loves this one, right? Teddy Bear up 6% there. Let's quickly look at Teddy Bear. Let's see if we got the we've got the Pulse version. I don't see the Pulse one there. Let's have a look what else we got going. Yeah, PulseX up 5%, holding up pretty well there. BFF up 5%. So we've got some nice little moves across the board there for Pulsechain, and with 465,000 transactions, not bad. Let's see where it is on the list versus other projects. Well, we got Solana at the top there, BSC, Ethereum Base, and Pulsechain. So Pulsechain sitting at number 5. The BSC's got a lot of wash trading, so you've got to take that into account. Otherwise, everything is doing pretty well there. Pulsechain moving up ahead of SU, which was behind that yesterday. So nice little moves there. $127 million of volume. Pulsechain doing pretty well. Pump tires definitely played a role in that boost lately. And of course, now we've got PulseX, right? And PulseX doing really well. The incentive token is been cut again, 2x, and now we can see the yields again today. So we got PulseX Pulse on this is the farms on V1 PulseX at 1.4% now. Liquidity still solid, man. Still solid, 27.3 million. We got Ethereum from EDI from Ethereum with Pulse at 9%, USDC at 9%, Wrapped Ethereum at 5.6%, and USD Tether at 9%. So these are all being pulled down to more sustainable long-term levels. And we got Hex now. These were up at like 40%. Remember, they were quite a lot higher. Hex at the moment 2.4%, incentive token Pulse at 3.5%, and incentive PulseX at 2.77. Now the liquidity is what you're watching, right? You cut the incentive yield, then where will the liquidity go? Well, it's down 17 million on EDI, 6.5 million on USDC, 10.3 million on ETH, and 6.3 million USDC. So we'll see what that looks like over the next few hours as well. Obviously 70 hours I think has passed so far since that reduction. So we'll see how these numbers add up there. I'm sure you can add them up and track those. But yeah, I think we were at about 140 million, 135 million, something. I don't know, I haven't added that up, but see whether that's gone down from then with that second cut in inflation for INC, right? So pretty interesting stuff there. And obviously with the lower yields, people potentially, looking to attract, where does that stuff go? Goes into other potentially into INC itself or something like that. So we'll keep a lookout for that. In terms of the info, the stable coins, this is another mechanism that Richard Hart introduced some time ago. And we can see this trifecta of this bridged in stable coins, USD Tether, USDC, DAI, still performing really well, 11.25% yield. So you're really, it's a better yield than you're getting in the farms now, just by putting into stable coins. So interesting, right? Bridge over your stables and put them in there. Pretty damn good return, 11.25%. I think it was 11.8% yesterday. So not bad on that one. That's on the stables. All right, so kind of cool. And that brings us into stable coins, talking about that. Now, if you haven't participated in PUSD ALGO, we do know that we've got the Signum Oracle expected to launch on Pulsechain, the first true Oracle on Pulsechain after Liquid Loans failed to bring theirs to market. We've got Signum here going to be launching possibly in the third week of February. That's the 17th plus 17th of February onwards. Now, if that launches successfully, in other words, there'll be Signum reporters. In other words, being a reporter for the Oracle gives you a form of income if you can set that up properly. You can have price information there, non-price information, and features like random number generators from those. So very powerful oracles, and we need one on Pulsechain. So Signum, bring it on. They were all quite unwell, unfortunately, over the New Year holidays. But it looks like they're going to be back for that. So we're expecting that the third week, so the week of the 17th. Now, should that launch successfully, that will enable a lot of Jacob's projects to flourish and get better security behind them in terms of a centralized oracle. At the moment, of course, they're feeding their own random number generator, things like that into their protocols. Now, PUSD ALGO potentially offers us a stable coin that has no bridge keys. There's no keys to it. And that potentially will be properly pegged to $1, and that reliability of being pegged essentially to $1 is going to be of a certain value to the market, as opposed to these liquidity forks and the coast, which can depeg often, particularly under a high stress volume indication. So I'm very excited where this will go. This is basically like Terra Luna with its scalability issue. It will solve for Pulsechain. Now the liquidity forks and coast don't really solve the stability, the scalability issue in what they call a stablecoin trilemma. This is what PUSD ALGO would attempt to do, just like Terra Luna. But the difference with Terra Luna, it had a whole ton of humans involved, and they had some flawed mechanisms. This, of course, is looking to fix that up with the stability miner, where people provide liquidity, get a yield for that, and the stability miner keeps the dollar pegged at $1. So keeps the PUSD, which is the stablecoin, pegged at a US dollar. Now, it's also going to have a double backing of stability, because it will be backed on to USDL, as far as we know, as well. So it's going to have that liquidity fork collateralization supporting it as well. So it's a double hit there. So I'm very excited about that. It's going to be multiple ways to earn, of course. There's going to be 4 tokens in the system, is based on what we know. ALGO, which is going to be the platform token. That's what's going to allow you to mint stable coins, PUSD ALGO, PUSD. And then there's going to be PUSD itself, the stable coin. There's going to be Flex, which is the reward token for using the platform. Whatever you do on the platform, you get rewarded in Flex. And then there's going to be the wrap PUSD version, right, for rewards. So that's very exciting. Now, if you want to get a 90% bonus straight off the bat, the link's in the video description. All you have to do is connect your wallet up and make your contribution or sacrifice to this wallet. OX96 ends in E223, and you can send your crypto either on Ethereum or Pulsechain, and you get a 90% bonus straight away. So Pulsechain there, any of these tokens, and all you have to do is send your stuff there. Now, do your due diligence, of course. I've got a whole video series here on a Hex Token channel under PUSD ALGO. Check that out. There's like 8 videos that we did a year ago with the founder, but now it's been starting to move forward, right? So we've since January the 17th, Jacob, the founder, has talked about moving forward with this project. So we're excited about where that will head. And of course, we've got the Signum Oracle coming up on the 17th, the third week of February. And following that, if it works as expected, Jacob has said that his updated plans for PUSD ALGO will be published. And so we're super excited about that and the offering that this will add to Pulsechain. So we're going to have Oracle come to Pulsechain. That's huge. Potentially having a fully pegged stablecoin mechanism, which will be full DeFi, no humans involved, stability pool. And don't forget, this is coming in with a V3 DEX. And of course, that potentially could be the second biggest DEX on Pulsechain, ahead of 9mm and 9-inch, sitting in behind PulseX. So it's definitely got huge potential with that. And may or may not be integrated with the Mafia game, which is now the #1 GameFi, #1 metaverse, and the only metaverse, and of course, the #1 NFT marketplace on Pulsechain. So this would complete that suite of products and be, pretty much the top tier ecosystem on Pulsechain, and could continue to grow. So I'm very excited about where this head. So now, if you do $1,000 inclusive of the referral bonus of 19%, so let's say you did $840 plus a 19% referral bonus, that will get to $1,000. That will then get you access to the second bonus, Bonus X. Bonus X is huge. You can get up to 2x multiplier, which is massive, right? So that's a massive whammy. Let's have a quick look at one of these. So we've got this person here at wallet number 120 didn't use any referral bonus, so don't do that because you want to get free stuff in crypto, and so you don't want to be this guy. But he did, because he did $1,000, he got a random bonus number generated. So it's between 1.01 and 2x free random, and you'd want to get that if you can. Obviously, if you're a smaller investor, don't worry about it. You can do a smaller amount and just get that referral bonus of 90%. At least you're winning that part. But if you do $1,000 inclusive, that'd be $840 plus. Then that would give you a random number generated. We don't know what it's going to be. So it could be 1.25, could be 2x. We don't know. It's random. But it will just probably add a little bit more at the minimum to your position. It could come out 1.02. So you just don't know what it's going to be. But you've got that potential of getting a very good yield. Now, that would get you to this player here to $1,570 for the sacrifice. And then for every dollar that they sacrificed, this total here, they get 20 algo, 200 flex, and 0.01 wrap PUSD, which you can stake in the platform and start earning right on the platform. So it's pretty cool like that. Very excited about where this is heading. Now, this person here used a 90% referral code, like the one in the video description for PUSD ALGO. They must have had about $600, $850 or something. They ended up with $1,026 with the referral bonus. Then they ended up getting, because they got the 1,000, they qualified for the second bonus, what we call Bonus X, and they got a pretty good number on the random number generator, 1.84. So they ended up with $1,888 for their total contribution. So they put in probably about $850. They were accredited for $1,888 there, and therefore they got way more tokens for that. And of course, they got ALGO, Flex, and PUSD. That's pretty much how it works. Check out the documents, check out the videos on the channel, and check that out, because I really think this is going to be a big player and complete Jacob's offering in the marketplace on Pulsechain, which is at the frontier of DeFi and GameFi in crypto altogether. So we're pretty lucky to have developers like Jacob. Now, the only thing I say is just be patient with the time frame, with Jacob's time frames there. But hopefully after the 17th, when we get the Signum Oracle, hopefully after maybe 10 days or something, he sees it operating. It's operating well. Maybe it might take 2-3 weeks, who knows, for him to get comfortable with the Signum Oracle, and then he'll give us an update in PUSD ALGO, and that'll probably be in the Telegram. So if you're not joined that, definitely join that, and then I'll be updating anyway on YouTube here. But very excited for where this could go. Very excited indeed. So that is going to be a major contribution. See, Pulsechain is continuing to grow, right? So there's so many good devs in the house, so many good protocols coming. Yeah, I think it will just continue to grow and get stronger and stronger. And this is all while Pulsechain is really just getting ready to take off, right? We get a very positive SEC court case outcome. We get positive SEC administration that maybe even drop the court cases, these frivolous ones. This is another, just a bullish thing for Pulsechain, in addition to all these awesome projects like PUSD ALGO that are coming up in the future. So very excited about that. So that is pretty much Pulsechain. Let's see if we've got any comments in the chat before I get on to anything else. Who else has don't know? We've got Wookie in the house there. Let's do this. Yeah, I'll start off a half an hour late. I was a bit late today on my live stream, but Hey, we're there. It's super sunny here down under. Like, we are so sunny in New Zealand right now. It is a beautiful day outside. Beautiful day. RH is setting everything up, ready for pump time, says Dave down under 100%. It is going to be awesome. So imagine getting on a project like PUSD ALGO when Pulsechain is starting to rally up. OMG, OMG. We got Brendan says, howdy, man and fam. Hey, good to see you, Brendan. Big shout out to you. Our TA guru called it really well on incentive token price yesterday, or over the last 24 hours. Fantastic job there. We got No Spoon in the house there. Superman. Good to see you, No Spoon. Yeah, definitely smash that like as well on the way in. All right, now we're going to get into the X28 update because this has been pretty important. I'm not even sure if I've got the, let me just pull up the X28 contract so that I'm not mucking around on the screen. I can just muck around while I'm talking to you on the screen. How about that? So just want to have a quickly check at the supply. That's what we're looking at here on X28. So let's have a look. Bam. All right. So let's have a look at the supply. All right. So, oh wow, that's pretty decent. That's pretty decent. All right. So let's get into it. So we're going to get into Titan X update now. So let's jump to Titan X Hub. This is by Mike Dean. It has been made. Not only does it work on Ethereum, monitoring your portfolio on Ethereum, but now base chain as well. Obviously, base chain has just been opened up. You can see in the key upcoming events, we had Uranus launch, we had X28 bridge to base chain opened, and we've got the USDX launch coming up. So that's what we're going to talk about there. Very, very excited about that. Now, Titan X at the moment. So let's quickly check this. We've been following the narrative of Titan X. Titan X is the medium of exchange. It is the hyper-deflationary token. At this stage, it's really just deflationary, but I do believe the hyper-deflationary period will come up in the future, and definitely it is definitely getting deflated every day. So it is less and less supply definitely happening there. Now, this is the chart here. We had a beautiful first wave, this US dollar price, and then we had a big, probably reduced about 85%, I think that was. Let's have a quickly check how much that's come back down. 81%, so not 85, 81% there down. But we had a nice almost 10x on the first wave. Second wave has been an 81% correction. And we, yesterday, it looked very hopeful, or 2 days ago, it looked very hopeful that we were going to start breaking up to the upside. But we didn't. We got pushed right back down, partly due to the fact that there's some of the same investors on Pulsechain are also the same investors in Titan X. And so when Pulsechain starts rally, people sell Titan X to go over to Pulsechain. And Pulsechain, it doesn't do so well, and they've had a good run. They come back to Titan X. So you got a couple of these players. It only takes a couple of these players with decent bags, and it goes back and forth. So we've got a bit of that going on there as well. All right, so let's have a look at the ratio to wrapped ETH. This is our chart. So we were hoping for a more bullish outcome. We had a bullish rally, but we're hoping that it would come back and bounce at a higher level. But like I say, Pulsechain started rallying, and so you got some of the larger players selling out, bridging over to Pulsechain, and then trying to catch the Pulsechain wave. Incentive token going up 100%. So you can see why people were trying to chase that. Anyway, we got up to 1589. We're back down here. We just bounced off 1127. We're now at 1165. So it would have been very nice to see it bounce off 1300. Didn't do that, and it's now now bounced just around the support level of 1100. So let's see if we can hold that. Remember, it did get as low as losing a zero, 8900 here. So 89,000. So we just definitely want to come back there. At the moment, what are we doing? We're forming some sort of a sideways channel as opposed to a full-on bottom. So if we can find that, that's pretty cool. And so yeah, that would form us a nice bottom range with our bottom down, bottom, not your bottom or our bottom, but the bottom of the chart down here, 10 zeros, 89,000. So 8,900. And here we are back up. So let's see if we can hold this area around 1100 and then start zigzagging, breaking out of the sideways channel, which seems to be forming at the moment. So that's where we are. Now we've got major catalysts coming up. So that's going to be huge. And that is X28 when omni-chain. So we're going to talk about that. Now, X28, it is depegged. The ratio is depegged to X28 to Titan X. That may be due to the Ouroboros. So let's quickly check that. I'm going to go to the daily chart here and go to Titan X ratio and see that. Look, it's depegged. So yesterday, as you remember, we were at 98, and that was a pretty severe peg. But someone sold down a lot here, and we've gone down to 0.9. So that's a very significant depeg there. And that means that X28 is only worth 90% of a Titan X. So That's where we're at the moment. So we'll see whether that rebounds. Maybe that's people going into TitanX to get ready for Ouroboros, which makes a lot of sense, right? Because TitanX and DragonX are the two input tokens that are going to be used as collateral for Ouroboros. So Ouroboros, of course, is the lending platform. Let's have a look at that. Now, people may have gone over to Titan, may have gone to Pulsechain with that as well. So both of those two options are definitely in play, but I probably think it's maybe to do with Ouroboros coming up. I haven't tracked those, but that's kind of my consideration there. So Ouroboros is about to launch in 1 day and 17 hours. Woo! That's the big lending platform for TitanX ecosystem. It is an open system. In other words, it can take non-TitanX protocols and use them as collateral for stablecoin. The stablecoin is going to be USDX. It is basically kind of like a modified liquidity fork, I think, from memory. So that's kind of where we are there with that. Let's have a look at the website. The countdown at the moment for minting. So this USDX minter is 01 days. So 1 day and 18 hours and 24 minutes. And maybe that there is going to be pretty bullish. So I think it's going to be hugely bullish for TitanX and DragonX. That they will go onto the platform and become collateral. So there'll be like a supply sink from there, arguably taking liquid stuff out. And number two, issue the stablecoin USDX and potentially adding more capital in the mix in terms of, I think, USDC, I think maybe have, or Ethereum there, which they captured Ethereum when they were doing the fundraiser for ROX. They captured a lot of Ethereum. I think they may have put that into stablecoin though, so just double check on that. But that is where the play now. ROX is at 7.5 cents at the moment, so just taking a little bit of profit there. That was up over 10 cents, almost 11 cents there. So we'll see where that heads because the countdown is getting pretty close, only a day and 18 hours away. Let's see what that does there, whether it spurs on some growth. Now, a big key with USDX here is can they get multi-millions of dollars in the platform in a short space of time? I think that's going to be a pretty key test there. But in any case, it's going to be some pretty good offerings there as well. So keep a look at that. Now, there's not a lot of supply. If you go to the RRX minter rather than the stablecoin minter, the supply is pretty muted because they have a vesting schedule. So yeah, there's 531 million tokens in the RX vesting schedule. Future max supply is at 780 million. So yeah, I mean, there's already been almost 13 million forfeited. So yeah, let's see where this all goes. There's 4 trillion TitanX in the buy and burn. So yeah, some pretty interesting mechanisms there. Get to the white paper. You can read the docs if you want to find out how all those mechanisms work. But that's kind of where we are at the moment. So that is stuff happening there. So that's the big thing. Let's see what happens with Ouroboros. It's going to spur on TitanX to start the third wave. Everyone's waiting for the third wave. At the moment, it's kind of in a sideways channel at the bottom. So we'll see where it goes. Let's see what else we got here. Hyper and Hydra are both essentially minted out for the most part, I think, over the next couple of days at max. So the buy and burn could start being really cool. The Hydra buy and burn's been turned off essentially. So they're waiting for things to happen. So Eric's got the Titan farms coming, and maybe the buy and burn will be turned on at this particular point in time. For Hyper and Hydra, they're close to 2 to 1. So the buy and burn liquid supply to buy and burn value in US dollars is about 2 to 1. Certainly a little bit different for Hyper. I think it's about 2.4 to 1 or something like that. But you turn those on, man, you could get some real magic going on with those. So we'll have a look out for those. The ratio at the moment for Hyper, 210 to TitanX and 0.1 to DragonX. Now Volt, I'm very bullish on Volt. Volt's only down 5.7% today. The ratio's gone up to 9,000. Let's have a look at that. So I'm very bullish about the ecosystem. I'm also bullish about the Dudes ecosystem as well. But I'm just waiting a little bit more for that to turn up. But let's have a look at the this US dollars for Volt. Obviously spearing along there. Remember, it used to have $5 million in volume back here in October when it got picked up by the market, the wider market. This is what we're hoping for on Basechain, right? Is one of these projects to get picked up on Basechain. Now the ratio here, let's do the log chart. We can see a nice little uptrend slowly happening here. Definitely want to breach 9,500. Once it goes, it's going to go. Now, what's it got coming up, right? It's got Volt staking imminent. That's gone through audits. Timing is being selected by, Stevie D. We've got the Bitcoin Genie, which I'm a huge fan of, coming up as well. We're waiting for the white paper, but I'm pretty hyped about some of the features I've seen just at an overview level. So we're waiting for Bitcoin Genie to come. That could be massive. And of course, it's going to have Bitcoin as collateral as well in there. that's going to be pretty fun. And it's focused on the buy side, sustainability side, which I think is where the tokenomics needs to go. So I'm really, I think Stevie D's leading the field on that. Pretty exciting. Now, the other one, of course, is the Dude. The Dude was the first project to launch on X28 with Uranus, and that's huge. Oh, before I move away from Vault, though, Vault's also going to be getting on pretty early into Ouroboros, into collateral. So Vault will be a potential one that people can put their Vault on here and get USDX as well. It's already the founder of Ouroboros has already put that out to Stevie D. So those are 3 projects coming at minimum, and we know there's more projects in utility coming from Vault. So yeah, I think Vault's getting pretty awesome, and the supply is getting burned off. It's about almost 45% burn on that one. So let's go quick look at Vault on the supply. 44.26%. There's only 585 million tokens there. I'm very bullish about the outlook for that. Just a clear roadmap, with Frontier tokenomics, it will do its thing, right? And then we can see the ratio is actually holding up today while the market is down in Titanx. It is holding up and the ratio has gone up. So I think the market gets it, starting to get that too. All right, so kind of cool. It will have its second day in the sun, as we say, second day in the sun. Yeah, the other one I'll talk about is Uranus. Now, Uranus is going to be the first project on base chain. And on base chain, you want to get green candles, right? So you want to get green candles so that that tracks all the base users, right? This base is one of the highest used chains, over 1 million active wallets a day. And of course, if you can get just a fraction of the real humans there, or even the bots attracted to it, then it will follow the chart up and push it up. So Uranus could be the perfect thing to start off with. Now, let's quickly look at the way this is set up. So the Uranus has got an 8-day minting phase. So there's no chart at the moment. So no chart for 8 days. I think this is great. I think it's a brilliant idea from the dude. 8 days, and then of course, once it's all minted out, then it will go to market. So the supply will be allocated, then it will go to market. So mint phase, users can use Ethereum or X28 on base chains. This is not on Ethereum. This is the first project on base chain using X28, which has been bridged over. Remember, X28 is Titanx, pretty huge. If using ETH, the protocol will automatically buy X28, which is really bullish. So people use ETH over on base chain, it will go and buy X28 in the background. So it takes all the thinking out of it. Particularly on base chain, it's pretty much a meme chain, so they're not so used to some of this frontier ROI protocols and tokenomics. 1x28 equals 1 Uranus, and of course simple, predictable, deflationary. Now it's got that meme fun thing. It's funny to talk about Uranus. That's everyone makes jokes about that. In fact, they did a whole live stream for about an hour or so, just making jokes about that. Mint closes after 8 days. Plenty of time to decide if you'd like to enter the project. Tokenomics 1x28, of course, with cap supply 8 days. 50% of the X28 used to mint Uranus is going to be used to buy and burn, which will kick in after it launches. I think this is a really good idea. 42% of all the X28 will be used to create thick liquidity. So you're creating thick liquidity, you're going to have a big buy and burn, and then you're going to be able to hopefully attract, if you can get a green chart out of this, which I think set up pretty well for it, you're going to be able to get that attraction on base, and it could run. It could run. So we'll see. It does have 8% going to the Genesis tax distribution. So does it got a tax token? I'm not sure how common those are over on base chain. You can let me know in the chat. But 1% burn, it lets Uranus on fire. 0.5% is the LP wallet, so it's thickening up the liquidity there. 0.5% to the Genesis, and then 1 to 20% reflections, adjustable to reward holders based on community governments there. So we'll see how that goes. That's with the governance on the token. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that plays out. Beginning on day 9, we manually adjust Uranus XLP burn tokens and commence trading. Reflections will be adjustable 1 to 20%. Additional LPs will be created as more X28 projects go live. So really still keeping all those LP webs in the family, right, for that tax. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Buy and burn, because Uranus deserves to shine. Distributable taxes there from Texas as reflection. So, bring in some of the best stuff there from Element 280. And I really do like the idea of getting inflation out and then go to market. I think that's going to be pretty fun. They get a green chart and it runs away, gets picked up by the wider base community, bots or whatever. This could be a real flyer. So we'll see. It's definitely got that potential. Definitely a speculative class, but the chance, this is what we're after in the Titanx community. If you can get that running on base, you get attention there, then it starts off very well indeed, right? So very cool. And then you'll have people putting their ETH in, well, not during the 8 days, but afterwards pushing their price chart up. So it could be a real winner. All right, but that money from taxes goes, back to the community, goes back around whoever's holding, and they can reinvest or whatever else they want to do. So pretty excited about that. What else are we looking at here? So we've got red candles across the board here, except Lotus. Lotus is up 33% today, so nice little move there from Lotus. And that's pretty much it. So I think we're going to end there. The big news, of course, is Uranus is going to be closing down in a few days. Actually, pull up the website for that quickly before I jump away to wrap up. So we got how many days? We got 4 days and 15 minutes, 15 hours, sorry, 4.5 days basically, until this closes off with the initial inflation. So then it's downhill from there, right? The buying band. So I think it's going to be pretty exciting. Now, if you want to check that out, I'll post you Titan Hub, and you can check out all the stuff on that, all the ones I've been talking about there. We got Wookie forgot to hit the like. That's all right, Wookie. You've done it now, so that's kind of cool. That is the link there to Titan Hub, and you can go check out Uranus there. But man, could be pretty good for a speculative play. Right, so that is there. And the other one I'll talk about is obviously Ouroboros launching within 2 days. So that's going to be huge. It's a big utility for Titan X, and going to take a lot of supply off the market, arguably. If it gets millions of dollars in there, I think it's going to be pretty good within a few days, maybe. That's going to be pretty exciting to see that, how successful that is. So certainly going to help the whole Titan X system. Maybe even the catalyst for wave 3. Very good chance of that. X28 supply. Now, X28's been around for what, 3.5 days? I think 3.5. Or 3 days, maybe 3 days exactly, 3.5. I think it's 3.5 days, and it's sitting just below 300 billion X28. So that's heading up pretty well. 131 holders over X28 on base chain. So that's ticking away pretty well. The price chart there is at 6 euros 29.50. That's where the chart is at the moment. So yeah, I mean, it's got sold off a little bit the last couple of days, but actually was doing pretty well at 3,600. We'll keep an eye out on that, and of course, let's see where it goes in the next couple of days. We're probably going to have the Uranus there get increased demand, so that's going to be pretty important. If we go to the holders, we can see that Uranus is the #1 contract. It's got 86.6 billion X28 in it. Remember, X28 is basically Titan X, right? So that's the same supply. And that they got 29% of all the X28 over on base chain, and that's going to be used for buy and burn and liquidity. Remember, so when the token goes live on day 9, not bad, right? Not bad. So the third wallet there is the LP, I think, for the pool. This one here. What's the one here? What's it got in there? 38. Yep. So the 38 there, that is the LP. And the second wallet, I'm not sure what that one is, but the top one there is, I'm pretty sure pretty sure that's the one for Uranus project. So exciting times. Things about to take off on base chain, and I think it started off pretty well. We're expecting to have 3 or 4 projects launching on base chain to kick it off, and probably one of the biggest ones is the low-hanging fruit, which is the Titan Farms from Eric. So keep a lookout for that, because I think it's going to be pretty awesome. Jake Sharp and Eric definitely coordinating, I think, some awesome roadmap there. So keep a lookout for that. Anyway, you can find out all that stuff on Titan X Hub by Mike Dean. He's the creator of that dashboard. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's 53 minutes on the hour. We covered a lot of stuff as usual. I'm probably going to start talking a bit more about base chain, just in context, give a sort of a structure, market understanding of base chain for those not familiar. And so we might do that maybe tomorrow. Let's see how we go, time permitting. So yeah, awesome stuff happening there. Pulsechain is looking bullish, isn't it? Bullish. Rich Art is moving. Yeah, it's exciting times. And Titan X is a beautiful opportunity at the bottom of wave 2 to accumulate and get some of the good stuff and get some of the right stuff. Now, if you want to have a check out some stuff, we've got Strategy Club. That's $35 a month. Links in the video description to join our Strategy Club private club there, and we pass a lot of intel in there constantly every day on all sorts of projects. So definitely get in there. What else are we going to say? Yep, PUSD ALGO, that's coming up. Could potentially be massive. And of course, the links to that, they want to get 90% bonus, get on that one too. Other than that, I will catch you on the next live stream. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Everything is looking pretty good. And I'm really liking where things are going. Now, obviously, we had a bit of volatility from the Trump coming in and doing tariffs and things like that. That's, once we get through that volatility, things are really going to start flying. And we're probably not far away from that. So yeah, bring it on. I am expecting stuff around crypto too, and a strategic Bitcoin reserve I'll probably get some info on that at some stage as well. All right, take care, everybody. 55 minutes on the hour. I'll see you in the next show. Bye for now. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell.